So my first tip today for you guys, do not grip the bow with a death grip, okay? What you're gonna do, or what you should do, is go like, just hold it really lightly, or just put your hands over like that, nice and loosely. Otherwise, if you're holding it really tight, there's so many more nerves and other things that if after you draw back and you're at full draw, you can shake it after you squeeze the trigger, or even if you jerk the trigger, it's even worse because then it'll shake, your bow will shake and stuff like that. And you don't want that to happen because then you won't get as good as a group. So that's my first tip.
What's up, guys? So this is tip number 2, okay? And I think you'll enjoy this one. I know I do. I came up with it myself. I've never heard of anybody else doing this, and so, kind of a little bit of pride in this work right here. So what you're going to need is a Sharpie marker. You can buy them in packs or whatever. It doesn't really matter the color, but I would not go with the original black Sharpie marker because it'll blend in to the thing you're going to be putting it on. And then you're going to need a set of Allen wrenches. That's all you're going to need. So everybody knows one of the worst things that can happen to you when you're out in the woods is that your sight comes apart, okay? Because then all your shots are going to be thrown off, all right? Unless, of course, you aim down the arrow. But with most compound bows today, if you did that, you'd completely miss a deer. So that's a bad thing when that happens, right? I'm going to teach you how to make that not necessarily not happen, but be able to fix it in a jiffy as soon as it actually falls apart. So let's get right down to it. So if you look at most sights on the market today, you're going to see that basically you have 2 vices on it, alright? And the one vice holds the sight from the left to right position, and the other vice will hold the sight actually to the up and down position, alright? And if either of those comes loose while you're out in the tree stand, it is not good. Your sight's going to be thrown off and you're not going to hit where you want to, even if you do get it put back together. So the question is, how do you remedy it, alright? Right? All you have to do, and this is really simple, guys, you literally take a marker, okay, and you go on each side of the actual sight and mark it. And by doing that, as soon as it falls apart, you know exactly where to put it, okay? You put it on the up and down one and the left to right one so that you know exactly how to put it back together, and that's where the Allen wrenches come in, okay? What I'm going to tell you is that, these are really, they're not expensive, they're really easy to put in your pack, and, if you fasten them with a rubber band, they'll make no noise or anything, and this one, works for almost your whole entire bow, so if anything goes wrong and you need to fix it with an Allen wrench, you got it in your pack. So, you can find these at Home Depot, whatever, Walmart, any of your hardware stores, anything like that, you'll find these, and they're really nice and compact, and you can slip them right in your pack, and you're good to go the whole season. So, I hope that tip helps you, and good luck out there.
Okay guys, the third tip today is going to be squeezing the trigger. If I have this short and sweet trigger, some guys have the ones where they hold it in the palm of their hand and the trigger is on the thumb. Squeeze, you also have to squeeze that. But what you're going to do with these, what I found really works, is to put the seam of your finger right in the trigger. And you'll just squeeze that off really nice, because there's a lot more nerves in the seam of that finger, and then you can feel it better, and it's not going to go off if you can't feel it, especially with a glove on. If you're bow hunting when it's colder and stuff and you have a glove on, you'll be able to feel it better in there. So that's the third tip.
Alright guys, time for tip number 4. I know you are super pumped up because this is tip number 4 and you've already got 3 awesome tips behind me. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, let's get down to number 4. So with these arrows, just give them I Spy. What can you find in common with them on the fletchings? Find it? Okay, cool. They're all marked, okay, if you didn't notice that. You see, I got 1, 2, 3, okay? So you may be wondering, why did I mark my arrows like that? Okay, well, here's the reasoning. Arrow number 1, right there, is my best flying arrow out of the 6 I bought this year. Some people buy 6 arrows, 12 arrows, 100 arrows, but you're going to find arrows in those bunches that are going to fly better than the other arrows that are in those bunches. So I found my best flying arrow right here, and I labeled it 1 because that's the first one I'm going to try and take a deer down with. Okay, my second best arrow, labeled 2. Third best, 3. And so on and so forth. You get the point. Some of the best hunters out there label their arrows, okay? Because they realize, as do I, not to say I'm the best out there, I'm absolutely not the best hunter out there, but they realize, just like I do, that, yeah, you know, maybe out to 20, 30 yards, difference between 1 and 3 is going to be minimal. But when you're going out to 40 and 50 yards, taking those 40 and 50 yard shots with your bow, arrow number 1 is going to fly a lot better than arrow number 3, okay? So that's my tip. Label your arrows so you get better flight, so you can shoot farther and feel confident that arrow is going to hit where you want it to. There we go. That's tip number 4.
Now we're on to the 5th tip, guys. So now that you've learned a couple things, I'm going to just show you guys one more tip. And it seems really obvious, but still, you really need to take it into consideration. Especially when you're deer hunting or turkey hunting or whatever, and your adrenaline is pumping. You just need to be calm. That's one of the biggest tips, is to be calm. To just make sure you're doing everything right. You draw back and take your time too. You don't have to be in a rush. Just stop the deer and just take your time on the shot. Otherwise, you might rush it and you could make a bad shot. So now that you had those tips, I hope you guys can use them in the deer stand. And yeah, just good luck out there hunting, and hopefully you guys get one down.